Bro Banner, Bro Heim.
I'm having like this deja vu. I swear we've done that before.
No, I can't believe it. We're repeating.
Well, here's another repetitive thing. Our intro.
Home Alone tribute.
I just realized that came out wrong. That sounded dick, and it didn't mean to. I just meant the intro plays over and over. It's constant, but whatevs.
I got you. I hear you. It's that one of those segments again where we catch up and talk about stuff we're reading, stuff we recommend people read, all of that kind of jazz.
Correct.
Well, I thought I'd kick this one off by... Sure, it's been a busy couple weeks for me. At the start of lockdown, leading into just before they started to decrease the severity or the restrictions on lockdown. But all of that time, I just was on like little hunts here and there with random people selling graphic novels at decent prices, I felt. I thought I'd just quickly share with everybody some of the things that I managed to pick up. And I say some because as I'm looking at the pile here, I can see that I have definitely left some on the shelf, some intentionally and others by mistake.
But dude, actually, now that you mention that, and I know it's maybe not a good idea to talk about this on the fly, but it might be a new cool segment we can do. It's just finds, like recent finds. And then we can always report back if they was terrible, or if they were really cool, or...
Yeah.
So...
Definitely. So I'm happy to do that as in the category of, or in the asylum ward of comic reading, finds that or recent acquisitions and stuff thereof.
Definitely, dude.
So let's see, what did I... so there was a couple that I got literally the other day. One was a Star Trek mini TP, mini graphic novel, which was basically like one little episode TP, which is actually quite cool. I read this one, so I'm going to talk about it. Picked up this.
New 52.
The Justice League by Geoff Johns. Read this as well.
Is that volume 1 or is that complete?
This is volume 1.
Okay, I was about to say, it looks a bit small for the...
Yeah, if I could find the complete, definitely will pick that up too. Yeah. Because there are some stories in the Geoff Johns run that I want, like the Throne of Atlantis, the Dark Side War. I want all of those, but read this one too, so I'll talk about it. I got Extreme X-Men. It was a cool offshoot X-Men series from probably the early 2000s, written by Chris Claremont, but art by Salvador LaRocca. Pretty cool. A lot of the off mainstream X-Men characters. I think Nightcrawler's in this one, Bishop, Rogue, Beast, Storm, Psylocke. It's those kind of characters, not the Scotts, the Jeans, the Wolverines, etc. And then I got a Spider-Man Venomized graphic novel, so quite a small, thin read. Art by Frank Cho, which is why I mostly picked up. Mark Miller wrote the story, and Frank Cho there.
It seems like a cool combination, though.
Sorry?
It seems like a cool combination.
I'm hoping so. Yeah. So I'm keen to see what that's all about. Then book 1 of Middle West, written by Scotty Young, and art by Jorge Corona, a Spanish artist. I find that quite interesting that Scotty Young's not doing the art that this other guy is.
Very interesting.
But a lot of guys, and this one I purely picked up off the back of a few YouTube channels. Guys just saying that it's quite a nice, fun read. I think there's 2 volumes to it, and I've got the first one here, so I'm hoping I can find the second volume somewhere. One that I got that's probably a bit more on the risque side, Black Kiss 2, Howard Shakin, some naughty artwork over here. Howard Shakin did a series of more graphic, shall we say, naughty comic books. So keen to check this one out and see what it's about. I mentioned that I did win on an auction, Monstrous, Volume 1.
Bastard.
So So I will be giving this a read at some point just to see what all the hype and the reviews are about. Interested, very keen there. Another one that a lot of people recommend, Black Hammer.
Yeah, dude, I've heard that like literally has won awards. I also want to grab it.
So quite a big thing, and I think they've also got it in collected, almost like what do they call them in the Dark Horse world? Deluxe editions, which are almost like absolutes.
Okay.
Various collected volumes, hardcover. So I do want to try and get the whole Black Hammer run. I'm going to give a big shout out to the cartoonist Kayfabe guys, not just on my shirt, but this next one is pure picked up off the Kayfabe Effect. They did quite an in-depth review of the amazing Screw-On Head story. A Mike Mignola.
I was about to say, it looks very Mike Mignola-y, but I have never heard of that, so it's very interesting.
Neither had I, dude. Never ever heard of it, and apparently the basic story, I know the story because I watched the review that the Kayfabers did, and the idea or concept is this guy is almost like a secret agent superhero that he's got almost like an Iron Man concept. He's got different bodies that can do different things. One's heavily strong, one's athletic, one could turn invisible, whatever, and his head screws on to each of these bodies. So kind of picks the body for the mission and then screws the head on and off he goes to do it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, very, very cool. And you know, Mike Mignola is an absolute master. I watched a very long, it was at least a 2-hour-long podcast. I forget the name of it, but it was like industry giants like Joe Quesada and a few others that were talking to, they talk to each other and they have a couple drinks and they draw while they're talking to each other. And then through the Zoom session, they'll zoom in on a certain guy as he's drawing a sketch or a panel, and they were talking to Quesada for some of the recent ones he was doing. And then they actually got Mike Mignola on. He never does these types of interviews, and they got him on, and he was talking about a lot of commissions he's been doing to raise charity and funds for the comic industry. So yeah, it was just great to see the influence he has and how respected Mignola is in the comic art world by these legends like Quesada and such. Another one I picked up on auction, I Kill Giants.
I've been wanting to check that out, dude, and I honestly don't know anything about it, but I saw it at our local comic shop, and it's just like the cover. I was like, damn, that looks epic.
It's heavy, dude. Joe Kelly, and every review I've seen, the guys say it's an amazing story. It was recently made into a movie, I think a 2-hour-long movie, and everyone says the movie's good. It's an amazing movie, but it doesn't do justice to the graphic novel. And I don't think I have seen a review that doesn't say just pack a box of tissues, because it's heavy. It's a hard-hitting one. So definitely going to check that one out and give my 2 cents when I do.
Yeah, that's officially on my list.
Yeah, one that I picked up off the back of our good friend Dev, recommending it. Archie versus the Predator.
It looks like it could be funny.
Totally. The first time I saw it, he's got like the hardcover deluxe edition of it, and I just thought, wow, that looks like a fun whatever story. I'll give it a watch. And apparently, they've even done a volume 2 of it too, where like the Predator comes back.
Okay.
Here's one that's right up your alley. This was off one of these local auctions, and I got this for a steal, dude.
What?
It's a graphic novel on the Sex Pistols.
That's cool. I've never seen that before.
Neither had I. And I actually should have brought it down too. I think last year I managed to find a graphic novel called Voodoo Child on Hendrix that was done completely by Bill Sienkiewicz.
Oh, yeah, but I remember a story like that for some reason.
Yeah, and that was, I loved that. It's like, wow, what an awesome find. And then this came up on one of those auctions. I think I got it for less than $100.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
Totally. So I'm very chuffed to have this one there on the Sex Pistols, and I thought you'd dig it. It's right up your alley. Then I got this one.
Jeez, dude, you got huge finds here, man. Like, you're gonna make me look bad. Like, I've got one find, but that's also my excuse. I've got an excuse. My local comic book store forgot 2 of my TPs, and I actually want to go grab them ASAP. That I wanted to show. So But anyway, continue since you've got the content.
This is a book by Milo Manara. Milo Manara, you can ask anybody. When it comes to drawing women, he's a master. So anytime I can find Milo Manara art books, I try and grab them, and so happy that I found this one. Our friend Dev is quite jealous. He's got an amazing hardcover one too, so I'm going to keep on the hunt to see if I can find more, add them to the collection. And then one that I was just blown away and dumbstruck that I found, because I've been looking for it for a very, very long time, is Mythology.
Oh, hectic.
Yeah, man. It's an Alex Ross collection here. It's the DC Comics art of Alex Ross, all collected in a massive, oversized book. This thing is thick, dude. It's very, very
intense. Jeez.
So I saw it in one review somewhere, and people were just saying it's just like mesmerizing. If you're a fan of Alex Ross, try find it. Looked on all the local sites here, and it just sold out. Asked the local comic shop. They said that apparently it's not in print. And I found it on one of these local, I can't even remember which one it was. It was their decent price. I think it was $550, $600. And I just thought, bugger that. I need this in my life. So I ordered it, and yeah, not disappointed.
Nice.
Beautiful stuff. So yeah, it's been quite a few interesting weeks and months of me
dude.
Hunting, digging, finding. And like I said, I don't even have them all here. I've also had 3 different Star Trek graphic novels come along with that one that I showed now. 3 other ones that are on the shelf somewhere. I think I got East of West, now that I'm thinking about it, by, I think, Rick Remender, that I'm keen to give a read. Oh, God, yeah. And then a couple of singular issue comics as well, to add to my single story sort of collection, etc., self-contained story collection. So hunting and finding, dude, and then going along.
Yeah, the only thing I really hunted, which I mentioned one of the episodes that I'm missing for some reason, which is Sandman Volume 3, which I'm going to jump onto. I obviously stuck to the 30-year anniversary, so they can all look the same.
Cool.
Yeah, man, and my other stuff I'm waiting for. I'm actually wanted to see if I can make a plan to try go get it tomorrow or ASAP.
Nice. Well, then maybe after you get it, you can do some of the things that you found recently.
No, definitely.
I thought I'd give you quick reviews on some of these. The Star Trek one, if anybody's a fan of the Star Trek Voyager show, this was, I like the art. They don't, the artist, I think it's some Moy or something like that, he doesn't represent the characters exactly like they look in the show, but in his own style, you can identify all of them instantly. So he's managed to capture the unique essence of each of the actors and characters. So I like the art. I thought the art was fantastic. The show, or this one, centers around the character 7 of 9. It was played by Jerry Ryan, and even to this day, I have a secret crush on Jerry Ryan. Oh, she is so my style, and she was in the recent Picard series that they brought back, and it looks like she's going to be in season 2. And I'm just such a happy geek because she's just so pretty. She does it for me. Cool story. These guys go. It's a bit of a Borg mystery. They need her to solve because she was a former Borg. And it was just like watching a little episode of Star Trek Voyager. So
cool.
I really enjoyed that read. I don't want to say too much about it, but very good art. Nice story, well paced, didn't drag for me. It wasn't too complicated. And again, if you're a Star Trek Voyager fan, I think pick it up. It's a nice one to find. The Justice League by Geoff Johns. I definitely didn't like the idea of the New 52. I don't know if I'm a fan of some of the redesigns that Jim Lee did. Some of them are cool, some of them aren't. I have to say, though, for me, in this thing, he nails it, man. His art it's good. There are some, I love the way he does Batman, the way that he's representing the Green Lantern, and probably how Johns is writing the Green Lantern. it's probably one of the better representations I've seen to show off the Green Lantern's power, what he can actually do. A lot of times people lose sight of the fact that he's wielding this ring that can manifest anything he thinks of. So, there's this one scene where they're in Gotham, there's multiple buildings on fire, they're going to go and investigate something in the sewer, and Batman's like, wait, what do we do? And Hal Jordan goes, don't worry, I got this. Flies them both into the sewer, and then as you see above, there's multiple little fire trucks, contracts that he's made that are putting out the fires
That's
all
cool.
over Gotham. Very cool, very cool. To kind of give you that idea that he doesn't necessarily have to be there to be active. He's seen these things, he's identified, he constructed the stuff, and then he can go in and do something else, and the construct will remain as long as they need it. Very nice idea. This, and I put the connection together now. There was a Justice League animated movie that came out that basically started out the Justice League, or the DC animated universe that we were recently talking about that ended with the Apocalypse War. The thing that the very first animated after Flashpoint Paradox is based on this one. I think it was just called the Justice League or something.
Okay.
Or Justice League Origins. And it's if you've seen the animated, I'm sure you might have, it's basically like the teams getting together for the first time. There was a cool scene in the animated where Batman meets Superman for the first time. Batman calls him Clark, kind of hinting to him that I know your secret identity. Superman quickly scans him with his X-ray vision and goes, okay, Bruce Wayne, like, I can do these cool tricks too. And that's all in here.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. The meeting of them for the first time, Green Lantern and Batsy meeting Superman, and you get the sense that okay, this guy's like, we're good, we're on this level, and he's up here. Darkseid comes through, the parademons are there, they run rampant, and it's basically each of these guys they're all coming together to stop Darkseid, force him back up his boom tube and back to Apocalypse. So I loved the animated, don't get me wrong. I thought it was brilliant. It told an awesome story. I love it even more now because the animated is true to the source material, but in saying that, there's so much that you do not get in that animated that you get in here. More character development, interaction between the various characters. I like the way Geoff Johns has written each of them. This one kind of starts out with Victor Stone, still in high school, the future football star. The mother box gets hold of him. He becomes cyborg. He's trying to figure out those powers, etc. He writes Wonder Woman as the Amazon, the self-righteous, I'm better than all of you kind of thing, and why should I join this team? Because I'm an Amazon and women are generally better than you guys anyway. All of those dynamics are in there. Batman asserting himself as the kind of unofficial team leader just because when the chips are down, he makes the calls. Yeah. All of them are kind of like, what are we going to do? And he just takes charge and just coordinates their efforts, their attacks, everything. And, there was a scene in the animated, and it's in the book too, where Green Lantern's like, oh, so what? He's the leader now? And Superman just turns to him and goes like, yeah. Like, he's called the shots, dude, and none of us can fault the damn things that he's calling, so just do what the guy says. I liked it. A very, very enjoyable read. And like I say, based on some of the guys reviewing it, saying that it's just a very good Justice League story. Jim Lee's art, I must say, is on point, impeccable in this. I am looking forward to reading The Throne of Atlantis because it's also, I've seen the animated. It was the whole animated there, and I'm keen to see how the animated translated the original source material by Geoff Johns. I'm keen to see the Darkseid War, to see how that translates. So, I'm just really excited I picked it up, and I'm definitely in for a few extras. I can say that for me, it's, as much as I enjoyed it, enjoyed Grant Morrison's take on League probably better, and maybe Geoff Johns is certainly taken a page out of Morrison's book. Like I gave you a couple of those that Morrison did. The first one, the second one, and right off the bat, Morrison establishes similar dynamics where Batman is the brains, the leader in some ways. Morrison does that awesome thing of, although he's running a few, or the League's running down a certain direction, Batman has a plan B, possibly even a plan C. He's outmaneuvering not just his own teammates, but also the enemy too. Morrison did that superbly well. And I enjoyed that. If anything, maybe what Morrison's run lacked slightly was the art, because Jim Lee here is just... But yeah, I'm keen for you to read the Morrison ones, because I think you'll enjoy those reads.
Yeah, dude. It like literally is on my shelf of all these things I have to read. But the thing is, I mean, you were kind enough to donate them to me, so I can't really bring them up as this is my finds, because I didn't find them, you did, so
additions to the collection.
Yeah.
you could do that. I don't know if you have any reads or things that you want to discuss.
Dude, so I'm so glad you got so much content, because I'm starting to get self-conscious how boring I am, because I've just carried on with volume 2 of Sandman. And I haven't read that much, but off the top of my head, what I can say is, if there's anyone out there that's reading Sandman, I don't know if it's just me, but obviously you can't read it all in one sitting. It's just impossible. But you got to keep up your reading, because I had a big gap, and I pulled into the middle of it where I had a bookmarker, and I was like, what is going on again? If you don't keep up, dude, you get lost so quickly, because there's so many concurrent storylines happening. And I'm somewhere in the middle there, like sort of the dollhouse sort of part of it. And I know I talked about this a little bit, but I also mentioned one story, man, where it's this girl that Dream is eyeing out, and it seems like she's going to become something bigger. She's called the Vortex. But anyway, she's escaped. This guy's taken her away, and they're on the run, and they're in this motel. And I haven't read far enough yet, but it seems like the next day there's some serial killer convention or something happening in the whole place. And I might be reading it wrong, but that's what it seems like. But dude, it's so random, man. And the reason I bring this up is because it's just, when I know I was late to the game with Sandman, and I always knew it was this big, I always pictured it as more of this fantasy-driven story, just because of how Gaiman is. And if you look at a lot of his stuff, he's a novelist and stuff. And it just keeps surprising me how damn dark it is, dude. And I love it for that. But when I look at someone like Gaiman, he's so chilled and so polite. And I'm like, whoa, dude, there's something going on in your imagination that people should just leave alone. It takes me back. And the thing that comes to mind is that this dude is sitting, and he says to this girl, do you want to hear the real story of Red Riding Hood? I don't know if you remember this in it.
I don't.
Dude, and it's just so out of nowhere, and what he's I'll sum it up, but basically, the panels change and stuff. I actually want to see if I can find it for you guys quickly. So the normal panels are colored and inked, kind of this, very typical Sandman. And then obviously he starts telling it, because he's telling a story, right? And it just sorry, I've got to find it quickly now. Where is this?
I don't know. Where is it?
But it all of a sudden becomes all these blacks and reds.
Yes, I do remember this part of the book.
And dude, in a nutshell, he's basically the wolf sees Red Riding Hood. She's taking bread to her mom, and the wolf goes, aha, and runs forward and goes to the grandma's house and butchers the grandma, which does happen. But then it's it gets weird. He's then he slices the grandmother up into pieces of meat and puts it on a plate and fills her blood up in a jug and gets into the bed. And as soon as Red Riding Hood arrives, he says to her, sit down and eat and drink, and get comfortable. And you as the reader already know what she's doing. And you're what? And then the wolf's get naked and get in bed with me. You're what is going on? And then only then the part of the story is oh, what long nose you have, grandmother. Oh, long. and then he just eats her. Like, and that's the end of the story. And you're like, what? I was waiting for like some other, like, it's just so
Where's
dark.
the huntsman who comes to save her?
it's so dark, dude. And it's like, and she's like, but that's not how it goes. He's like, yeah, I know. And then the guy's telling the story, narrating the story. He says, you know, like they've changed it over time and stuff. But I'm like, Jesus, Gaiman, like, dude, calm down. And like, I mean, this is old material of his, but it's new to me. So yeah, dude, I'm digging it, man. I definitely want to divert at some point, and read some other stuff, you know. But yeah, every time I read it, man, I'm just like, it takes me a page or three to go, okay, navigate myself, what's going on. But then when I'm in, dude, I'm like, so yeah, that's me at the moment, dude. Like I said, I'm hoping when I get those other new TPs, I'll talk about them and get to read them. But yeah, otherwise it's me, man.
Nice. Well, for our next one, I'm going to start on the third Sex Criminals volume. So hopefully at some point I'll get to give my humble 2 cents worth on this one. Like I say, so far I'm loving it. So really am looking forward to the next bit in that story. But yeah, I don't really have much else. I think I chowed up a lot of time just showing off some of the finds.
I feel like we should call our channel the Sand Criminals or something like that, because I talk about Sandman and you talk about sex criminals all the time.
Season 1 of the show will be the Sand Criminals. Season 2 we'll move on to some other epic story each. And so, if you liked what Mark and I were talking about here, or just like our content in general,
please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more videos.
And yeah, do us a favor and find us on the social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
See you in the next video.